Okay, so we got more inside of the family business problems. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Our Kind of People. This is season 1, episode 4. Listen, we're moving right along, but on this episode, it's more of the inside of the family, the turmoil that's actually going on inside of the family, and how much they really don't want Angela as an issue. They just don't. The father still wants Angela out, but it's weird. I don't know. I think I know what he would like her to do to Angela, but just don't want to say it. Because he keeps going back at Leah and saying, take care of your sister. You take care of your sister. What is it that you want her to do with her, sir? Kind of cold-blooded. Anyway, moving on. Let's go. Raymond and Leah are at counseling. And one of the biggest problems that they're having there is Teddy. It's Teddy. It's Teddy is the issue. Raymond feels as though Leah sides with Teddy, and it's an issue. He wants him gone. It's like, but I mean, that's her father. So how do you really, again, you keep saying it. What is it, sir, that you would like her to do with her father? You all in this, you deal with this person in your family? I don't get it. But okay. He wants him gone. And she's like, you're trying to make me choose and this, that, and the other. He's like, no, your father has my business. And literally, we're seeing, it seems as though he's trying to hold on to it. Which I believe was the whole ordeal in the first place, is why he did the bailout. Is because he just wanted to get his hands on it. He's doing business. He don't care if you family or not. It's mine now. For now, it's mine. And that's kind of how he's acting. I said, oh my God. Anyway, moving on. Now we got Teddy versus the partners. He has these food service partners that are all lined up for some businesses that he has, but they are part of the deal for the stadium. Okay, so naturally, you know, food service is a huge part of the deal. So they had this whole scandal-like conversation, and the partners are all natural. They're Caucasian, and they were talking about the rumblings with Angela and different things like that. And just, it was interesting. They were saying, you know, your recent situations that are kicking up, you know, it's a bit much, you know. And listen, Teddy basically told him, you all are like battleships, and I'm a destroyer. So really watch your step when you playing with me. I have my situation together, and I don't want to hear no more about it. I was like, okay, Teddy. So we move on over. Now we got Tyreek and Leah. They over there playing some, I was going to say badminton, child. That's about what they was doing, child. But they supposed to be playing tennis, honey. Badminton. Anyway, but Tyreek was bringing Leah back to a space. Like, he says, what's up with you and you and Angela? He said, it reminds me of when your dad first took me under his wing. You treated me funny back then. You know, like you were jealous and everything like that. And she's like, oh no, well, you know, I mean, it's different and this, that, and the other. He's like, I don't know. It's just, you know, that's just kind of what I see. And she said, you know, but it seems like you're okay with her. And you don't want us to like start questioning your loyalty, do you? I was like, oh, that Leah, honey. Leah is something else. Anyway, moving on. Tyreek, after that conversation, I don't think he liked that too much. Didn't sit too well with him. He goes and he removes the cameras from over at Angela's house and tells her it has to do with a manufacturer's recall on the cameras. I said, now what you going to tell Teddy? What are you going to tell Teddy when Teddy taps in to want to see what's going on at Angela's house and he can't see nothing? I was like, okay. Again, this is some of the little parts where we have the little holes in the story. I'm like, no. Anyway, So they ended up having this conversation, and he was saying to her, you know, what do you want from the Franklins? And it immediately made her get defensive. She's like, who said I wanted anything? I want to further my business. I don't want anything from them. I'm not trying to get anything from them. He's saying, well, why can't you just like don't poke the bear? Because if you poke the bear, then the whole family of bears is going to come out after you. And she was like, you know what? I think what we need to do is you and I need to create some space apart. She got offended, and he was like, okay, I'll give you all the space you need. He went on about his way. She went on about her way. I was like, Again, did he really overstep? Yes. But again, remember, we know, but Angela don't know, that you a dirty dog anyway, Tyreek. So I don't know that we really like you all that much anyway. But your conscience is getting to you, and that's why you came and removed those cameras. But you had no business doing that. You had no business doing it. You're bought. You're bought. And you showed us you can be bought and you can be sold. I guess you're going to try to make it better now, but whatever. We see. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so Angela and Leah, naturally, there's always this back and forth. Leah is putting the pressure on Angela about this whole joining this whole thing. She's like, you're the one that's behind. So, you know, you need to really give us your whole business plan and your projection. You need to give us a presentation. And as a matter of fact, you can actually do it at your grand opening. Like, who does a business presentation during their grand opening? But anyway, Angela's like, that's okay. She always think, you know, her and Leah is back and forth. So I'll figure out a way to basically blow this up in her face. She's all about the Gracities. So I'll get the Gracities and I will interview them as a part of my presentation. So that's exactly what she did. She got the ladies together, unbeknownst to Leah. Leah ends up walking in on it. And she's actually doing it, but Leah's doing what she does. And the ladies are telling their stories about their black, you know, having black hair and how it's actually bought, you know, they've run into barriers about their black hair and the freedom to actually be a proud black woman with black hairstyles. She came and Leah crashed the situation and then had one of the ladies were recording her because she went and said some stuff to get up underneath Angela's coat, honey. And Angela told her, you know, I know how to do this. I know how to do my business. I know how to get to the bag. And I don't need anybody to do it. I know how to get to the bag. Well, of course, they spliced that little piece. And she told her, well, I thought you were really all about the love of hair and black hair care. Or you really just about the money and getting to the bag. So I said, she done took that. She going to flip it on you. And she ended up doing it and had it posted to social media. So naturally, all of her followers are actually seeing, like, well, wait a minute, girl, you said your mission statement was that you loved us and you wanted to make sure that black women were this, that, and the other. But now that's coming across like you just worried about money. So she stung her. She stung her. In the meantime, with all that going on, Taylor and Nikki were actually, you know, they've been hanging out and everything. And Lauren actually walked up on them. They was actually getting ready to kiss each other. I said, oh, here we go, honey. So she's like, came in and she's like, oh, hey, cuz. To Lauren. Lauren looks at her like, none of your cousin, child. Anyway, Lauren ends up telling Taylor, you know, I'm really ready to take this thing and just forget it. I'm ready to go public. So now Taylor's all like, oh, okay, cool, no problem. She told her, but you should try to be nicer to Nikki. This is not her fault, what's going on. It really isn't her fault. Nikki and Taylor were actually having this conversation, and Nikki was saying, you know, you're ready to blow up. Like, you're the face of Eve's Crown. You're going to blow up on social media. So Nikki ends up, after that, she goes and she talks to Angela, and she tells her, I don't want to be the face of Eve's Crown. She's really afraid of the social media bullying and then the other things surfacing that she's actually done, you know, where she has fights and stuff on her. She's just afraid. And she told her. Now, meanwhile, through all of this going on, Angela's bestie has come in town. Angela has a bestie who's actually played by Alex Newell. Who can, listen, baby, if y'all don't know about Alex Newell, y'all need to get into it. Google Alex or go on to YouTube and search Alex Newell, it's Newell. That baby sings down. Alex Newell will sing the place down. And Alex actually played basically like herself. Um, Alex is I think Alex's pronouns are she and her, but I don't think she actually identifies as trans. Don't quote me on that, but I always call her she and her. But she really does skate that gender line as far as her presentation. You know, she looks like a girl, she dresses like a girl, but it really is like a gender, what I call a gender fuck. Um, I don't think she actually identifies as trans. But anyway, beyond all that, none of that's really important. I love Alex Newell. Alex Newell is a triple threat: sing, act, perform, perform. She can move. She do a little dancing for you when you need to. She's really, really, really talented, and that vocal is nothing nice. But anyway, Alex was playing another person that's the same way, you know, very gender fluid, and is actually Angela's best friend and has come there for the event and to help along with the event. Um, you know, totally a family friend and everything. So we got all that going on. Let's talk about Teddy and Leah, and they go to see the board again, and they get to talking about the business. Um, and here we go again, and child, the little CEO of the little food services joint says, you know, your business, Teddy, is doing really well. Like your business is, everything what you're doing is doing real, real well and everything like that. And then he had to make this comment and say, who says black lives don't matter? I said, oh, this bastard. He was a mess. And you can see Leah and Teddy was like, you know, I was like, child, that's a mess. So they get ready to go on. Here he starts again about these issues and everything. And there was an issue about Teddy naming the stadium after his brother. That was too ghetto for them. That just seemed a little ghetto for them. And he told him, he says, let me tell you something. He threatened them with the growth of, he threatened them to go with some other investors, and he could cancel them, you know, if things don't work out. And he ended up walking out. Him and Leah too. They walked out. He's like, you know what? If this whole thing, if what I'm doing is too black and too urban for you, we could actually cancel our business and go with some other investors. Y'all are not the only investors. And, you know, that's that. He walked out. After that, we end up seeing this meeting where Teddy and, well, actually, it was Raymond having a business meeting with an investor for his business, for Darman, and the investor's like all ready to go. He's like, I just need to see your financial statements and everything in your projections. And he called. He's like, oh, let me go ahead and I can get that emailed over to you. And he got in there and he's like, wait a minute, who said it? Child Teddy got him blocked out still. So he can't even get it. So he had to like bullshit his way out of that whole little thing. And the man's like, well, I'm ready to go. I just need to see the papers and I'm really ready to go. I was like, oh, and he was furious to have this deal ready to roll. And here you go with your bull crap. Like I said, Teddy is really locked down on the business and just ain't coming up off of it. Shortly after, once that the post and all of that, Angela was pissed. So Angela ended up going to see Leah, and they end up having this back and forth where Leah ended up telling Angela, listen, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm ashamed of you. You know, your little, you being the secret that you are, has put a little dark cloud around our family, and we ain't here for that. We're not here for it. I'm embarrassed of you. And she's like, because Angela told her, listen, we are sisters, and you need to figure out how we're going to move past all of this and go forward. She told her, there is no moving past. There's nowhere to go from here. I'm embarrassed of you. I don't have any use for you, really. I said, oh. She told her, we don't owe you anything, really, other than maybe some back child support. I said, oh, shady. Anyway, so the opening ends up happening. It's completely tanking. Okay, so Alex Newell's character, which is Angela's bestie, ends up going and talking to Nikki. Says, you know what, you need to help your mother. You need to help your mother. You need to step into your own and stop being afraid and help your mother. It'll be good for the both of you. So it's like her, like a God mommy or a God auntie. And she said, okay, they called in. She said, we was going to call in the reinforcements. She ended up calling in the drag queens, honey. I was like, this is so stereotypical, but okay. We'll go with it, Lee Daniels. Ugh, so stereotypical. But Leah and the ladies of the Graceties actually showed up, and there was hardly anybody there. It was just empty. Um, the people just were like not feeling it. So she's having a hard time trying to respin it. Well, they started having a good time, and they're going live, and Leah had made her speech, and then out pops Nikki, and Nikki's all done up, and she's like, I am the face of Eve's crown, this, that, thing, and the other. Well, the people ended up like start coming in. I was like, this is so cinematic and so corny, but okay. So it actually did get flipped, and that was that. Next thing we see shortly after that, and even Leah and them were over there partying with the drag queens. Leah and Teddy have another meeting with the food service owner to let him know that this is where we part ways, and we're going to be using Darman Foods. And they're like, Darman Foods? Now Leah is shocked, like, what the heck? He's like, yeah, we won't be needing your services. This is what they're doing good. They're a good competitor, and they got things going on. We're just going to use that. Well, meanwhile, pretty much, Teddy owns Darman right now. So he ain't really trying to give it up. He's trying to hold on to it. A mess. A mess. Anyway, Leah ends up telling him after the meeting is gone. And then he dismissed the guy. He's like, you can go. You can go. He said, you actually, you had past scandals too, and I never threw them in your face. But now that we're doing this, you can go. Our business here is done. I was like, oh, tore my penny. That man was so swole. His face was cracked and on the floor. I said, good for you. Then Teddy ends up telling Leah about his Parkinson's. When she told him, she said, why would you not tell me about Darman or any of that? You got to, said, if we're going to work together, you have to work together with me. She said, he's like, okay. And he told her about the Parkinson's. And he told her again, you got to take care of your sister and do something about her. Anyway. So then Tyreek and Angela had this whole little thing. Tyreek came down to the opening and was leaving a bottle of champagne. He left it with Alex Newell's character. I don't know why I can't remember Alex's character's name. But she ran out the door and seen them, and they made up, and honey, they kissed. And she's like, oh, I want you. Yes, I want you too. I want each other. I'm so pleased. Anyway, so that's that. He's back on board. Girl, don't trust him. Tyreek is a snake. He may be a snake that's not going to slither anymore, but you slithered already. You're a snake, and I don't trust you. Anyway, last thing we see, Raymond that met up with his ex-wife and told her, listen, nobody knows about this. What about your wife? What about her? Nobody knows about this, but you and I need you to find some dirt on Teddy. I'm taking him down. I said, oof. Not the ex-wife, honey. And she looked like she was happy to do it. I think I would like the ex-wife to. She looked like she got a lot of mess with her. Anyway, but that was it. Again, it zoomed through. So there was a whole lot to unpack. So listen, I'll catch you all next week on the next episode of Our Kind of People. Later for now. Bye, guys.